Okay, we're waiting for the live to build up. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Diane. Hello, how are you doing today? Happy Memorial Monday. Two more minutes. Yes, same to you. Good night, Wendy. Night. We have 1 more minute to go. Oh. All right. Hi, Simba. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you, Lord, for guiding and protecting each and every one that is on this live right now. Father God, I ask you to touch everyone's heart and their souls and their mind. And continue, dear Lord. We pray for all the troops, those that have fallen and those that have served. In no other name but in Jesus' name, amen. Welcome to another episode of Motivational Monday, where each one teach one. If you're celebrating a birthday today, I want to say happy birthday. May God continue to guide your path. If you had a birthday weekend pass, happy birthday. So guys, I'm on location. I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. I'm heading back home tomorrow. I had a fantastic weekend. It was Orlando's Carnival 2023. It was a great success. And I'm happy that COVID is over. And, you know, everybody getting back to normal. Some normalcy with the crowds and everything. So I think they had a fantastic turnout for 2023. So I have a word of this week for you guys, and it's sacronics. It's a formal word that describes things too important and respected to be changed or criticized. Once again, the word of this week is sacronics. So I have a little health tip for you guys today. And last week we talked about the importance about the calabash and the nutrients of it. So today I want to talk a little bit about bay leaf. Hi Lincoln, hi Lima. I want to talk about the benefits of it. A lot of people use it, but they may not know the benefits of it. If you're from the Caribbean, I know that we cook a lot with bay leaf. So what is bay leaf? Bay leaf is an aromatic herb obtained from the smell evergreen tree known as the bay laurel tree native to the Mediterranean. The leaf is about 2 or 3 inches long, almond shaped and green in color. Bay leaf has spicy, woody, floral, sweet and savory and slightly bitter undertones. It is commonly a cooking spice in India that people use to brew tea or in their curry preparations, although you need to remove it from the dish before serving. It serves many nutrients that keep many chronic diseases away. For example, it relieves from diabetes, cancer, and stomach problem, but there is a lack of scientific evidence to prove its effectiveness. Type of bay leaf. Bay leaf, also called TJ Pata in India, is fresh and dry. Fresh bay leaves are skinny and dark green on top with a pear green or an underside. They are used in meat dishes to add pronounced aroma. However, fresh leaves can dominate the dish if overused and might need to be retrieved early during cooking. Dry bay leaves. Well, most of us will get the dry bay leaves, seeing that we live here in the States. Actually, we had a bay leaf tree in our yard, so we used to pick them fresh and we used to dry them also. So the dry bay leaf are olive green in color. Dry bay leaves impart a more suitable flavor and are generally left in a dish as it cooks, then removed before serving. Fresh bay leaves are often coarse-like and have lesser shelf-life than dry bay leaf. Therefore, using dry and crushed forms of bay leaves while cooking meals is more advantageous. Well, yeah, you're getting more advantage from the nutrients and more likely to absorb from the crushed form. The health benefit: improve digestion, aids the kidney health, improve heart health, help manage diabetes. It provide antioxidants, alleviate respiratory conditions, has anti-cancer properties, provide anatomical protection, reduce inflammation and enhance wound healing. So there's a lot of use. It even reduces stress and anxiety. Improve hair health, help induce sleep. You can also boil it and drink it as a tea. It can use as an insect repellent also, cosmetic industry, air freshener. And they saying here you could use it by drinking. It prevents cold and cough, flu, increase body metabolism, and help promote weight loss. It relieves joint and muscle pain, fight diabetes. It reduces blood pressure and cholesterol levels. All right. So they say you could take 2 to 3 leaves, cut them into small pieces, and then you put them in boiling water, or you could soak it overnight, strain it, and then drink the water. All right. Remember, guys, I'm not a doctor, so this is a health tip for this week. All right, which is bay leaf. It's very good. If you never heard about it, just go to your normal supermarket and you can also purchase it there. All right. Okay, so today I have 2 guests. I have Mr. John Beckford from the Miami Carnival. He'll be coming on and we'll be talking a little bit about what to expect for 2023 Carnival celebration. If you don't know, now you know. Try to get your tickets, hotels, car rentals, and everything early. And John will speak more about what to expect. After John finishes, we will bring on Lori. And Lori is a professional tutor. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. All right. So I'm going to bring on my first guest. I just want to give everybody a shout out. Thank you guys for locking in. Ask questions, and we're here. John, are you ready? It's Tutoring, yeah. And John is no stranger to Motivational Monday, guys.
That's right.
John is like a household name here. John has been with us already, and he has to do his thing. So go ahead, John.
Year to year. And we're here, we're in Orlando, having just come from Atlanta, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so every year Miami Carnival, we kind of go on the road, the marketing team, to spread the gospel, so to speak, of Carnival and the joy that Carnival brings. So I was very proud to have been in Atlanta and came into Orlando yesterday. And boy, I would tell you, it was a nice parade.
Oh, how was Atlanta Carnival?
Atlanta Carnival was was a long route, but a very good route. It was about 4.5, almost 5 miles.
Wow.
It was a straight shot.
Right.
You had 8 different bands, or no, I'm sorry, 10. 8 bands here in Orlando yesterday.
Right.
And so, I mean, you saw people as far as the eye could see, basically. It was, and then people, because it was on the main Marietta Boulevard, you had people that came out of the neighborhoods. You had black people, white people. So, I from a cultural standpoint, it warmed my heart to see non-Caribbean people coming out, taking a peek. You're like, oh, what's going on here,
Right.
And then,
Yes.
Saw a little non-Caribbean family, the guy brought his wife and 2 kids in a little red wagon and set like a blanket out and,
So they had a good turnout.
Yeah. So they had a good
what
turnout.
did they have, what did you went, especially for the celebration or the parade? Or you were there for a couple of days?
I was there for a couple of days. We do radio. In some destinations we do TV, and then we partake on the day of the event. Usually I'm on stage, we talk about Miami Carnival, we give away tickets, all that stuff. We're really there to support that Carnival committee.
Right.
Because, I like to say when the tide rises, it raises all ships.
Yes.
And so, Miami Carnival being one of the top 5 carnivals in the world, it's important for us to extend some level of leadership in going to the smaller markets and encouraging their growth and their popularity so that, together we aspire, together we achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they got a good turnout, because I know with COVID and everything going back to normalcy now, it's good to know that, it's unfortunate that Miami and Orlando is the same weekend, which it have been for all these years. Yeah, sorry, Atlanta for all these years.
Yeah, Saturday, one Sunday, so.
Right.
Yeah. It requires getting up at 4 in the morning to catch a 7 a.m. flight on Sunday to get to Orlando by, 8:30, 9 o'clock, because the parade starts at noon.
Right.
So that gives you enough time to get from the airport, get to the hotel, drop your bags, and then,
so there is no really rest for you, John?
No, what the song says, straight off the jumbo jet. Yeah, that's what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So if I do nod off at some point, you'll understand why.
So what can we expect for Carnival, from Miami Carnival 2023? I know that Miami Carnival, you could say, is growing year after year, and I would say it's the second biggest carnival in my eyes, because I know Trinidad first, and we always know Miami to be the second largest. So what can we expect this year, and who do you have joining, if you could get the cat out of the bag a little bit?
All right, so we'll let the cat out the bag first of all.
Okay.
So you get the opportunity to...
My viewers.
Your viewers.
Yes.
Right? The headliner for Miami Carnival 2023, Bungie Garland, Fairhand.
Nice.
And the whole band, the Viking band.
The Viking family.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Having, and it's funny because I was in Trinidad for Trinidad's Carnival. And everybody talking about the song that came in second.
Yes.
And I kept saying, that power, rhythm, that Bungie have, I said, the more I listen to the 2 songs, don't get me wrong, I love Nadia and Skinny's song, but when you're on the road, you know, and I heard a lot of DJs doing this. They actually would start Skinny's song,
right,
about 15 seconds in, because it does have a long intro,
right.
You know,
it does.
So and so I think that might have cost them a few points, so to speak. You know, but hey, I'm not here to dissect that.
Right.
Bungie win.
Yes.
That's why I picked. Right. And I love when I pick a winner. So hey, I'm happy.
I mean, you know what, too? I think for being a young couple, it was good. Bungie never won the road match before.
Yeah.
So it's a first for everything.
So I think Bungie has won road match.
He won it before?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, Bungie's foundation still, you know.
Yes.
Nadia and, you know, Skinny, you know, somewhat junior to Bungie, so to speak. I mean, Bungie's been around for a
Tigress,
long
correct me
time.
if I'm wrong.
You know.
Yeah. We have Tigress watching, lock on. She always lock on every week. Thank you again to my viewers for locking in. And you can ask John any question you guys want. So we have Bungie, the Asylum family.
Right.
Okay.
Representing the Bahamas. Julian Believe is usually with us. You know, we're talking to many of the artists.
Right.
And I don't want to get in trouble with my executive director, Mario Zamora,
right?
You know, and the board, because then they're going to say, "Oh, there goes John. He's going rogue," you know, and whatnot, because we haven't signed so and so,
right?
And all of that. So I'm trying to be a good boy.
Yes.
In 2023, okay. So we signed Bungie and them, so I can say Bungie and fair,
okay.
Right?
So good.
There's other artists, you know. We can talk about what I would love to see, what you would love to see.
Yes.
I love the artist Asa Banton.
Yes.
I think he represents Small Island very well.
Yes, I know what to say that.
Yeah, I think Skinny Fabulous is a must. I think Little Rick is a must. I think, who again? Even throwing in a non-Caribbean artist also helps. I can't remember the name of the artist. I saw her perform in Atlanta. And again, that's another value of why, you know, we take this marketing team on the road.
Right.
You know, it's important for myself and the team to look at the talent that's out there.
Right.
Both on the road as well as, you know, on the concert stage. Miami Carnival.
So Miami Carnival, how many board members you have?
Yeah, so a lot.
So it's like around 17 board members?
About 18.
About 18 board members.
Yeah. So sometimes, you know, listen, straight talk, right? Sometimes you can have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
You know, and so...
But I mean, you all have been coming together for the past few years, and there's a lot...
13 years, right.
Right,
so
13 years.
It was the merging of two boards, each side having 10 members.
Okay.
You know, so originally it was 20, you know, members was the full complement.
Right.
And so that's kind of how it...
So you are the marketing...
marketing director,
director
and sponsorship development.
So John, you go to really all of the carnivals, or how do
I can't go to all. And
yeah, but which one that you pick?
I would have a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
You know, we try to do anywhere from 6 to 8 carnivals.
Okay.
You know, so for this year, you know, there was Trinidad,
right,
Atlanta. We're here in Orlando.
That's 3.
We're doing St. Lucia.
4.
Doing Notting Hill for the first time.
Ooh, 5.
Yeah,
okay.
So, did Jamaica, but it wasn't a full-blown marketing trip because my mother passed away.
I remember, yes.
Yeah, so her funeral was actually the Tuesday after the Carnival.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was, you know, out of pocket for Jamaica's Carnival. But normally, that would also be another carnival that we do. Yeah, and then of course New York. Can't forget New York.
Yes.
So that's what, 7.
Yeah, 7.
7 right there. So yeah, that.
So you're not going to Grenada
that
or
keeps me pretty busy.
Not going to Grenada this year or Caribana?
No, unfortunately, I'm going to miss Caribana.
Okay.
How could I? Oh, you know what? Number 8, Antigua.
Yes.
Forgive me, Antigua.
Yes. I know you attended last year.
Yeah. I try not to miss Antigua.
And I know you went to Sierra Leone too, right? How was that experience?
So last year, December,
into January
into
here.
January, right.
2023.
Started on the 27th of December.
Right.
You know,
How was that experience?
That was very good. It was
Okay.
tough leaving the kids for Christmas.
Right.
You know, they actually wanted me to get there because that's part of their whole planning team.
Okay.
They didn't want me to get there from the 19th.
Right.
And I said, man, you know, my kids are still young enough where they enjoy Christmas.
Right.
And so I couldn't make that much of a sacrifice. So I got there for the 27th, but it takes a day to get there.
Almost 2.
Right. So I actually left on Christmas night.
Okay.
You know, so I had to go from Fort Lauderdale
Yes.
to Baltimore,
Yeah.
Baltimore to New York, New York to Senegal, Senegal to Freetown.
Right.
So when I reached Freetown, I'm tired.
Yeah, you would be after all that traveling.
Tired.
Traveling
You
tends
know?
to get you tired anyway.
But I made sure travel in business class so I could get one of them life flights.
Yes, yes. You enjoy the perks.
It was the next best thing to first class.
Yes.
You know, but when you get on a trip of almost 15 hours, you know, it's kind of worth it.
Yes.
You know, so I was able to do that, and then I have, and I tell everybody this: a good thing to get is Priority Club.
Yes.
That thing, it costs, I think, maybe $200 a year.
Yeah.
And you get to go to all the lounges.
That's very good.
Man, let me tell you.
Yeah.
When you have them long layovers, as in Senegal.
Yeah, you need it. Yeah.
You know, you go there, they have showers, you can get a massage.
Yeah.
The food, open bar, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm advertising for Priority, but it's worth. And if you have an American Express Platinum,
yes, you get the perks.
You get it. It's included.
Nice.
You know, so it's almost like you pay more for the annual fee. But when you start to take, and another thing Amex gives you is global entry.
Yes.
And I keep telling people,
get that.
Get global.
Because
listen,
with
if you travel
global, I have
internationally.
it. Yeah.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
for 5 years and you get TS.
$100.
$100 and you get TSA pre-check.
And you get pre-TSA.
Yeah, pre-TSA.
People, y'all are crazy if you don't get global entry.
Yes.
It's $20 a year. Best kept secret in the world.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you come back, you just look at that long line in immigration and go, bye.
Yes.
That's it. You look at you look at the camera, boop.
Yep.
Things say, welcome home.
Exactly.
and you're out.
For real.
Yeah. If you don't want it, listen, if you only have checked baggage, you're easy breezy. You know, people still sit on global entry.
Exactly.
$100, 5 years. Stop it already. Just get it.
So John, we have the panorama.
Yes.
What
hold on.
Okay, so go ahead.
Junior Carnival.
Go ahead, Junior.
Yeah,
give them the rundown.
Yes. So this year, Junior Carnival is always a Saturday before the adult weekend.
Okay.
You know, so September 30th this year.
And how many bands are you looking at?
You're looking at about 13 junior bands.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've reconfigured the parade route. I really want to encourage people. I know a lot of New Yorkers come down for Miami Carnival, and sometimes you're not there as early as a week before. But you know, tell your friends and family that live down here in South Florida, even in Orlando. You know, drive down and come and support the kids. The kids, you know, the kids today become the adults of tomorrow, and so we have to show them the same love and support that we do for Panorama, Juve, and of course Carnival Sunday. So yes, we start off with the Junior Carnival, Saturday, September the 30th, and then we roll into, and that's from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then we roll into the Panorama the following Friday, which is going to be the 6th, right? Of October. I hope I have my dates right.
Do you have any big bands coming from Trinidad? Because I know sometimes you have Desperados and different people coming up. So
and so again, because we don't have anybody signed.
Right. Okay. All right. So we have some big bands.
But we in talks with some big bands.
Okay.
And they're coming. You know, they're coming. So yeah, 6, 7. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
And things. So. Last year was fantastic.
Yes,
we had my wife from Japan.
Yes.
It was phenomenal to see Japanese people that obviously don't look like me or you.
Yes.
Or the majority of your
and they played very well.
Watchers. And boy, did they play very, very well. So that was an experience. If you know, Panorama to me, sweet. But to see Japanese people,
I think the location to where they had it was very good.
Yeah. So, so we look forward to the guest bands for 2023, and that's Friday, October the 6th, and then we roll into the Madness of Juve on Saturday, October the 7th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Shh, don't tell anybody, but we could actually go till 4 p.m. But if we tell people before, then they're going to stay till 5.
Yes.
So we're telling them 3, so they could stay till 4. Right? So again, you see, this is why you got to watch the show here. You know?
Yes.
You get all the little inside tips. A Motivational Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. But Juve is pure madness. I mean, last year, 50,000 strong. And we expect more coming this year.
Right.
And we have some surprises for the local folks down in Florida, in Broward County, that have been crying about, oh, the fairgrounds is too far.
Right.
Y'all stop it already. You know, just it's spoiled.
Yes.
You know, but
so that's the Juve.
They might get their wish for Juve to come back to Broward County. Stay tuned on that one.
Okay.
You know, but again, you heard that here first.
Right.
And then Sunday.
Wow.
Miami Carnival Day.
That's a long day.
Okay? 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. People, look at me. There's no carnival.
None.
Right? Like Miami Carnival. We're for 12 hours. Listen to me carefully. You get a parade, 26 mass bands on the road, 30,000 revelers. Right? They cross in the stage. You have a concert stage that starts at 6 p.m. And we said it earlier, right? Bungie Garland headliner. We usually have anywhere from 15 to 25 artists performing live. Okay? That's on the concert stage that starts at 6 p.m. when the parade should be winding down. Of course, you know, some years the parade has gone all the way to 11 o'clock, and that's fine.
Right.
Not a problem. But we do have the concert stage.
Yes.
Then now for our Haitian American brothers and sisters, we have a compa zone. Okay? Then for our Jamaican brothers and sisters, we have a dancehall zone. We've actually had a dancehall zone now going on about 5 or 6 years. Right? Then you have a food court with 50 food vendors. We cap it at 50 because we want to make sure the food vendors are successful. Right? So, you know, we could easily, we have a waiting list every year for food vendors. But we cap it at 50 and we make sure that there's a cross section. So whether you're from Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, St. Kitts, Bahamas, wherever, there's food there for you. If you're a foodie, you can come on out.
Yeah.
And then we have an arts and craft village. We have folks that travel from far away as New York, Atlanta, bringing their wares, whether it's artwork, whether it's batik, jewelry, flags, rags, you name it. We usually have about 15 or so arts and craft vendors. So that's the difference in the hybrid nature of what Miami Carnival is all about. Giving you all of those things.
Pause for a pause, John.
Yes.
John, you have some young ladies on this chat say you're very handsome. And
and listen, it's not that kind of shit.
And Colleen, yes, I saw Marina at most of the fetes. And also, we have a Tiva saying, leave it on the fairgrounds, please. The one, the Juve up in the fairgrounds.
Tell them people in Broward County, they got it too spoiled. They keep crying. I don't want to get on it. Right? And for all who think I look cute.
Yeah, this is John Beckford. Again, he's in marketing.
Right. This is my agent. So, all who talk about me, listen, I'm going to make some money this year. Phyllis.
Yes, John.
Get a little black book out.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Is $500, 4 hours, right? No physical.
That's an inside joke, guys.
If you're looking for a handbag, yeah, I have a tuxedo. If you need me to wear a tuxedo, that's an extra $75. But Phyllis will handle all my bookings, okay? Yeah. And then, and then the price goes up from there depending on you want to walk on the beach, right? $750, right? Yeah. And you want me to cook come over and cook and think for you. Now you reach 1,000, okay? And the price keep going up. Right? So, ladies, check Phyllis. She have a full list.
Yes.
You could get what you want. Have your money ready.
Oh God. Good night to everyone. Again, this is John Beckford, guys, and he's from the Miami Carnival Committee, and he was just giving a rundown of all what to expect for 2023.
Somebody said, let's start the video. Oh, yes! I'm making money tonight.
Yeah. So Carnival Sunday, yes, and the parade, we have the main stage with many artists.
Hey, big up Dingle, big up One Island. Most of our large bands come out to New York, eh?
Yeah.
You know, you can't have a Miami Carnival without Brooklyn and sometimes Queens.
Yes.
But Brooklyn, love you all, man. Love you all. New York, all the way, all the way. But you guys come down in droves. They can
give your website where they can get tickets and everything. And how much is the ticket cost this year?
Don't watch that. Just go on the website, MiamiCarnival.org, and just click on buy tickets. As a matter of fact, if you buy your online tickets early, you're going to get a chance to win a, again, hot tip. I haven't signed them yet.
Yeah.
But we're going to give away a round trip for 2 Anywhere Caribbean Airlines flights from Miami to whatever destination. Okay. Right. And then I have a sponsor coming back, Campbell Renard, big up Brandon, and he is going to, his company is going to create a custom his and her watch set.
Okay.
Right? It'll be studded out with jewelry. It's going to have a value of $10,000 minimum, and it'll be a his and hers watch set that we're going to give away. And again, only if you buy your ticket online in advance. You have to do that before September for a chance to win that his and her watch set.
And what about Carib? You have Carib is one of your sponsors also?
Yes, Carib is, the ink hasn't dried yet, so I can't talk too much.
Right.
But I want to thank Carib for their sponsorship last year.
Yes.
And I think I can safely say, without getting in trouble with Mario, that we can welcome back Carib for 2023. We've already started to do some wonderful things with them that we have planned. We're at GQ's Craft House in Lauderhill. We're going to do our first Friday event there. We have bucket specials, and then the Carib girls will come out and give away, the whistles and the bottle openers and so forth. T-shirts and all of that. So, yeah, we look forward to working with Carib again this year. Thank you, Asa Seeley and his team for pulling that together, for us. And of course, before I close, let me thank my board chair, Joan Justin. I call her the board whisperer.
Yeah.
She really, keeps us all together at the end of the day to make sure that, we don't color outside the lines.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, John, I just want to say thank you again. I know you will pass through again.
Yeah, man.
On Motivational Monday, and it's a pleasure. This is like your second home, and thank you for supporting Motivational Monday too.
Listen, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I mean, what you bring is important and vital. And sometimes, as the saying goes, if you change one life, and if you provide some motivation and some inspiration for that one person, and turns that, you help to turn that frown of theirs into a smile.
Yes. Thank you so much, John.
What more could you ask for, So keep up the good work, continued success. We'll see you guys, Miami, Columbus Day weekend. Start off with the Junior Carnival, September the 30th. Then we go to October 6th, 7th, 8th. Follow us on Instagram, MIABRO Carnival is the call sign for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Miami Broad One Carnival, LinkedIn, you name it, we out there. So you have no excuse. And if you have any other questions, feel free to call me. My name is John. No, remember now, this is for Carnival related questions. Anything else, talk to PG.
Yeah.
She had the little black book, right? Carnival questions. 954-494-4483. If you forget, you Google my name, John Beckford cell phone, it come up. Yeah. I'm not hiding from the government.
Right. Thank you, John.
All right.
There you have it, guys. John Beckford. Just giving us an insight, talking a little bit about Miami Carnival. So I'm going to bring on my second guest for this afternoon. And, the tone is going to change a little bit. But that's okay. So my second guest is Lori, and I'm so happy. You have a Carnival question? What's the question before we go on to Lori? That's okay. John right here, so he can answer any question. Philia, are you there? Philia?
No, man, say.
Philia?
See, now they get beauty
Philia?
and the beast.
Ready? Yes. Right. Yeah, hi. Okay, guys, so we...
I had memorial stuff going on here.
Okay. All right, guys. I just want to say welcome to Motivational Monday, Lori. Lori is going to introduce herself, and we are going to talk to Lori a little bit about, and she will tell you. Okay? So let's go.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Phyllis.
You're welcome.
I'm a former New York City police officer. And once I retired, I decided to give back to the community. We were in the pandemic, so at that time, which was best for me to do was to tutor in my community. So I took the time because we have various ethnic backgrounds within the community. So after speaking to ones and they was a little bit lost, I found the best way that I could help and assist my community was to tutor. So I tutor in English side. I do the reading comprehension, vocabulary, and grammar. And then on the math side, I do anything from, because I love math, I do anything from trigonometry, geometry, pre-calculus, as well as calculus.
Right. So Lori, what got you into, you say, well, during the pandemic and everything, but I always say teachers have a special place in each and every one of our hearts, because that is where the foundation lies, right? So I know with you now tutoring these children, is there special kids that you tutor, or tell us a little bit about that?
No problem. So what I generally do is, in my community, we have a lot of Africans, and they have various dialects. And what we found, or what I found, was that they would come to me and they would ask me if I can go with them to school, because sometimes when they were speaking to either for parent-teachers night, they didn't understand what was actually going on, and sometimes the child had to actually come back and explain that to them. So I figured usually if you allow a child to explain it, there's going to be some miscommunication within it. That's definitely not going to happen.
Right.
So by me reaching out to the school and having those dialogues with the school, I was able to then provide that information as best as I possibly could, because I always say to the school, which is easy, if you would just come and have a translator, you can capture every single language. There's no reason why we cannot do that, which is sad, but that's what I found, because of course each country or each nationality may have a various type of dialect. So right. By me fusing that and coming to the school and having those conversations, and then speaking to the teacher was able to tell me, well, the child is weak in this portion or weak in that portion. So at that point I felt, okay, you know what, I see that there's a need in the community. And I had so many parents looking up to me in the community with information or lack of on how I can better assist this child. Then what I found during the whole pandemic was a lot of the families was apprehensive in going to the schools to get the tablets that was needed to utilize, or right. any of the resources, because they figured, listen, for some reason I felt because I'm undocumented, I would have a challenge. And I said, no, we don't live in that world anymore. Exactly. If you're undocumented, the child is here to get an education. You have to be there to assist that particular child. So with respect to that gave me even more of a reason to now further reach out. And since I knew I was great with tutoring and I can generally get my message across to individuals, it just made it a lot easier. And then I find sometimes the child does not know how to communicate with the school, the teacher, and sometimes the child doesn't even know how to communicate with the mom. If I come in with this friendly smile, a warm voice, a different way to guide them and assist them, they'll be more so looking forward to saying, yes, I need this particular help. And then they would come to me with other issues that they would normally not voice to their parents and their teachers. So it just made it easier for me.
So what age bracket we talking about?
So I generally start at age 7, which is your second graders, and I've gone up to high school now. So I have a couple of 12th graders, which I'm so proud of, young men I've had for the past 3 years. They're off to college, which I'm excited for. I've actually even gone with them to the schools so that they can do like a open house at the schools, because of course a lot of my parents are single moms, so it's a little bit more challenging for them to assist. So I would go to the school and help them do the open house, which was pretty cool, and they're excited. So they're off to college. 3 of my males are off to college in the fall, so I'm excited about that.
Very, very good. Yes, Andy, Miss John Beckford, he was up first, and now we have Laurie. But you can also rewatch this on my Facebook page. So Philia, you hear me? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
My background.
yeah, so Laurie, I was telling Laurie that you have been in the teaching industry for a long while. So what advice you can give her, or what do you think about the Tutoring 101?
Okay, Lori, first of all, I want to commend you. I thank you so much, because your job is, no one can pay you enough for taking that extra time out, because of course all day kids have academics, but it doesn't mean when a child is in school all day that they're still getting the full comprehension and attention that they need in order for them to flourish academically. So I just want to say I commend you and thank you so much from literally all of us. I do appreciate the fact that you were looking at the demographics of your students, because you're right. It's very difficult for them to relay certain messages to parents. Sometimes because of fear, because of sometimes culture, where kids can't feel as comfortable to be able to convey information in the right way, and also a lack of understanding. So being able to work with the school, like a parent coordinator or a social worker or something like that, to be the liaison, really helps bridge that gap between what you're doing, the services you're providing, and the help that the parent needs, because of course it can't work without the parent's consent, and it can't work with the parent not being involved. So I do see that as a wonderful thing. And I also listened when you talked about a lot of your students their parents are from Africa, so it's about the dialects. And it's funny because when we think of English, we have a certain translation, but sometimes in people's dialects, no matter how much you try to translate, it's not the same, and it sometimes comes out a little incorrect. The information is definitely miscommunicated. So that, I'm sure, might be something that it could be a deterrent or some type of interruption in the message that you're trying to get through. So even taking the time that you mentioned, I think is so commendable. I have been in the education system for 16 years, and during COVID, I also got into tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, and I think it's not easy. It's like, yes, you are able to give the student that attention, but there's so much information that you need to cover. So I wanted to know, how were you able to circumvent that in knowing what to cover for the student? Did you look at just the deficit of the student, or did you have something in mind and then did an action plan?
So what would happen was, the first thing I would do is I would ask the child what they were weak in, with the parents, because I would do a formal meeting with the parent and the child there. And I would always ask for their report card so I can see where they would lie. Once I got that information, I would ask them, can I now have a conversation with the teacher? Because remember, the teacher could be providing this, or teaching this student one way, but the way this child can maybe be a student that needs to see physical, or needs to see picture oriented, and not necessarily just read from a book. So I can't come now and teach that child the same way the student. The teacher taught them. I have to come from a different angle, because at the end of the day, that child has to get that subject. So by me coming from a different angle in comparison, and then utilizing what the teachers taught them, then I can now turn around and provide that student with those tools or resources for him or her to flourish. But what I also do is I also now have to go back to the school and have that conversation with the school to say, okay, you have taught it this way, I have taught it this way, another way. Is there anything better that we can do? Because at the end of the day, the kid still has to pass that subject, whether it's citywide exams they have, another test. And lots of times, especially on my math side, which is the hardest side, everything that you've taught one time, it builds on. So when I go from algebra to geometry to trigonometry, now you're talking about formulas, and I have to build on it. And what I find, which is so sad, is we don't have enough youth that read. That's my hardest piece, is to get my youth to read. So I'm at the point now, especially with my male blacks, I'm at the point now where I'm just asking them, tell me something you like. Basketball, a basketball player, I don't even care who it is. And we go to the library. I make sure each one of them have their library card through the parent, because you need like a report card to get the library card. Remember, I'm not that person's parent. And sometimes I circumvent it because I know how to speak to librarians, or I know how to get over that, right? But I make sure that they have a library card, and we just get the book and they start to read. I'll even get the book so that I can ask them questions so we can go back and forth. Right. Because that's my hardest piece, is the getting us to read. It's so hard.
Sherry is saying IEP is very important as well. Right. And Andy, he told me I could say Miami Carnival, not one carnival. So he told me I could say Miami Carnival to your question. And Sherry Ann is always saying memoretic help is a lot as well. And she say that's my biggest problem with me as a teacher. Read, break up the words, sound it out.
Yeah. I mean, you're not by yourself. I mean, like I said, it's hard, and we don't know. And I noticed this the most because even during the pandemic, I would still go out because I was always curious of what was actually going on in the world, and I may go out different hours a day or whatever have you. Right? You had youth that were coming out of Starbucks bathroom that I know was in there long enough because they had to bathe or get ready because they're homes. We don't know what that home environment looks like until a social worker circumvents and some kind of police officer circumvents, which is the sad part, right? So I have to take it, and thank God the students that I have currently now, I'm actually, because that's why I tutor, I go into their residence and I tutor. So at least I know what that picture looks like. And sometimes even when I am tutoring, I'm getting, parents yelling in the background, or another kid yelling, or fighting going on, which is true, but I'm there to help that child. Yes, I can say, listen, I need you to keep it down in the back room or whatever have you. But at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I myself personally feel I have to make sure that child gets that work. I noticed that someone mentioned an IEP. Yes, the IEP is your individual educational plan, right? And what that's designed to do is it's designed to help both the school, the child, and the parent navigate the best program that we could put into place that's going to help that student get over this semester or over this year. Lots of times what I tell people, because I had a couple of people that came to me and just asked me about it, you have to make sure that child, you as the parent have to make sure that you get into the school and speak to them on an annual basis. It's not this 3-year basis or 2-year basis. Anything can happen in 365 days because some parents don't even understand this process. So yes, you as the parent has to get into the school and have that conversation. And yes, you have to be able to speak up. And if you don't know, find someone that you feel in the community that can help, and you can go up and ask those proper questions, because the teachers can tell, just like when you go to a doctor, right? They can tell you anything. I'm quite sure when they tell you something, you go and you do your homework so that you have the questions that you can ask when you go. Same concept. You make sure that you do your homework so you have those questions as to ask. But all I'm asking you, which is very important, please make sure that child is evaluated on an annual basis. I don't care if the teacher says, oh, he's good, we'll see him in 2 years. You got an IEP, it's an annual evaluation, full stop.
I have a question for you, Guy. Miss, is it right for a child to be held back and in first grade for reading? That's one. I agree. Some parents need help as well to understand how the system works. Okay, go ahead, Miss.
All right. So, my daughter did not go to the I'm a product of the public school system. There's absolutely positively nothing wrong with the public school system. But I found, as a single mom, and the things that I would hear that was going to public school, I had to make sure that my daughter was in that environment, because I know that I would come up and probably do something or say something I shouldn't. So this is what I did. I didn't put her into that environment. So when the environment that she was in, you did not have to learn how to read by first grade. I've never heard that before in my life. Right. Because technically it's in second grade that they start editing they start editing your work. So technically, like when my daughter, when she was younger, if she spelled baseball BSBLL, first grade, that's how she spelled baseball. If she didn't pronounce it, I would always tease her, because she would use the word subtle, and we know subtle is a silent B, so it's S-U-B-T-L-E.
Right.
So she would always say S-U-T-T-L-E, and I never corrected her because I know in second grade is, well, you're saying 7 years of age, but I know second grade is when they correct you. So I don't know why or what school system would put into place that you're leaving somebody back in first grade because you can't read. I've never heard it before. Right. But I'm not saying it doesn't happen. And
as well. Yeah.
And the only thing that I can say, which is unfortunate, depending on your school system or your location of the school you're attending, you're going to have a different learning style and you're going to have a different dynamic. And that's the sad part, because the public school system is not all on the same one page.
Right. Wow.
I wanted to add to that. Thank you so much for explaining that. I think you're right. Most importantly, parents are not well informed, because you're right. Like when you mentioned in second grade usually is 7 years old, because I believe, at least in New York, first grade is when the child is turning 6 years old that year. So they said that they actually legally, educationally, a child has up until the age of 7 to be able to learn how to read. So when children are getting left back in first grade, kindergarten, pre-K, it's something that might be suggested by the teacher or the administrators, but parents can still, they don't have to relinquish that right. They can still fight it, and there's no way they can force a parent to do that. But what happens, just like if you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you something and you don't do your research, you go on everything the doctor tells you, and this is what happens. And I think it's really important to be advocates for parents, because when parents don't know their rights, that's why they fall into that system. And then unfortunately, the kid, they think that by holding the kid back is going to help so the kid can catch up, but what it does is causes self-esteem problems. That kid now gets bullied because other kids now are saying, oh, you're 7 and you're still in the first grade, or you're 7 and still in kindergarten. So there's that bullying. That kid seeing his or her peers moving up, and that kid has not moved up. It's so many other ramifications that comes with that, and people are not understanding it, and they think it's just about being able to catch up with the work, but there's no guarantee that they catch up, because now they're dealing with a lot of social emotional issues. So I really say that if you're watching, you have to advocate for yourself, and if you don't know, research it. There's so much information and resources available for you to know your rights as a parent, because your rights completely not just circumvents, it actually supersedes the rights of the school system. They cannot force your hand in anything. They can only highly suggest. They probably just sometimes want to bombard you or bully you into thinking that what they say goes, but it doesn't. So please don't, because then your kids become victims of their own circumstances, because they don't have anyone to fight for them, and you as the parent who is supposed to serve and protect, your hand is your handicapped, because you also are not well informed. So it's important to inform yourself. So thank you for mentioning that about the parents. It's really important.
Okay, so we have the second part, Catherine is saying here also, my friend granddaughter has to go to summer school for reading. I think it's crazy. Now, Sherry is a teacher also, and she's saying, is that child gets kept back, it's some disability that the child has. Parents need to work and pay attention to their children. Like you said, second grade, okay, I agree, but first grade, nah. She is correct. I went to the DOE and they did nothing.
Well, for the person that went to DOE, I mean, this is just me. You're not going to get the same person, I believe, when you go back the next time. So I would definitely make an attempt to go back. I mean, just like anything, we make phone calls, we get on the phone, and we know our right. We know what our rights are, and you get that lazy person. You said DOE, clear example, which is unfortunate.
Right.
And you also realize that once you get a supervisor or you get someone that you speak to, everyone has a boss. I need to speak to your super. I need to speak to the superintendent. Somebody has to be able to come back and give me something so that I can understand how to direct and guide my child, full stop. Because at the end of the day, up until high school, you are your child's advocate.
Yes.
And if you don't know, you have to do research. And if you don't know where to go or whatever, you reach out to someone that does. Because there's lots of people out here, but you have to make that assertive effort. The child did not ask to come into this world.
So, Lori, let me ask you, in a situation where this first grader getting held down for reading, what course of action you think she can take? With my son, I used to go and buy these phonics books, and do my own work home with the child. And I used to have this red, we had a red book, and it was that B-A-T, back, A-T, C-A-T, cat, back to basic. I know some parents are busy working and don't have time to do these things, but instead of having them on a tablet or video games, I think going back to basic, because I used to go to Barnes and Nobles, have a lot of these things that you can do with the child. Hold on, the child has no disability, so it's not like that all the time. Some kids read better than some, but again, you could encourage them. And if like writing too, you have all these phonics books. I remember that you could help your kid on your own at home. Right. Not leaving it only up to the teachers. You understand what I'm saying, parents? With young kids, that is.
So another thing that I highly recommend, and I don't see that a lot, is we reading to our children at night before they go to bed. I don't see that enough. I know we all have busy lives. Me as a single parent can definitely vouch for that. But even if it's 10, 15 minutes, they're hearing something, and then at some point that's going to encourage them, because they see mommy is reading, that they're going to want to read as well. Right. That's what I found, which was easy. More recently, which is still mind-boggling to me, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. As you're getting older, I remember when I was in school, we had to do penmanship. I'm not even seeing kids doing penmanship anymore. Everything is on the tablet.
Yes.
And I don't even know where to start with that or how we can go back to that. But I think that's the worst thing, that you cannot now write your name. When I was in PD and we would do reports, I would have individuals that are writing reports. Instead of writing the word T-O-O, they write the number sign 2. Instead of writing enough, they write the letter U. That's not writing. I don't know what that is. It's certainly not writing. So unless you now guide yourself or guide that child is going to fall short no matter what. But they're taking things out of the school system, which I think is very sad and it's unfortunate, because they definitely need to keep penmanship in there. You have to know how to write. You ask a person to write script and they're writing print. I don't get that, because they've taken it out the school system. Not every school, but the majority of the schools that I've been working with, they've taken it out.
And they're saying in some schools, the administration just want that child out and promote them without basic skills such as reading. I experienced this working programs in school.
He's right. I've heard that. Mm-hmm.
Create a book club between parents and child. Catherine saying, I'm very active in my child's school. The PTA president. I still read with my 14-year-old twins. Amen for that.
Amen, yeah.
Yeah.
And something that I like to do, one of my favorites was the author Christopher Curtis, and there's a book, he has a couple of books. The Watsons go to Birmingham, Alabama's 1963, I believe it is. And what I did was, when my daughter was young, I was reading it to her at 2, when she was 2 years of age, and of course when she got older. And then I allowed her to read it back to me. I find when a child reads a book at 7, they understand it one way. If you come back and let them read that same book at like 9 or 10, they understand it another way. So that's something else that you can introduce to your child as well. Just don't let them read a book and close the book off.
Right.
Give them some time and let them come back years later and read that same book. Because, of course, their imagination is now growing. Their vocabulary has now increased. One thing that I highly recommend, and I do this for my students now, I have them have a composition book. So whenever they're reading, I have them write the vocabulary word in the composition book, write the antonym and the synonym, write whether or not it's an adjective, verb, pronoun, adverb, and then I have them write a sentence, right? Now they can carry this composition book with them, whether on a train, and constantly read through it, because at some point they're going to have to pass SATs and ACTs, and now they're enhancing their vocabulary by doing this. That's something that works well with me when it comes to my students that don't like to read, that read and don't like to read.
Right. And Sharon is saying what? Children are like sponges. They are very smart. I understand. I always talk about penmanship. They don't have that in my school, and it's a private school. No praying as well. Yeah, they cut out praying in school. I can't even use God on my work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. In this time we live in. But when you're home, your house is your house. You can do what you want. Just keep in mind.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah, keep pushing. So Lori, I want to say I think tutoring that you're doing, I think because back in my country we used to say lessons for my son. He had lessons from Monday to Friday. After school he had lesson by Miss Lala Monday to Friday. And I think some kids now, parents don't have enough time. They don't have the energy. They're too busy working, maybe single parent home. And the children now are not capable. And there's a lot of dropouts from high school. They don't graduate. High school age, they ain't going. They just drop out. They're on the streets. They just have parents that maybe, I don't know. But I want to commend you because I think with the tutoring, you're paving a way for these youths, men and women, and I know that they will appreciate it later down the road. You understand? Because you're taking that one-on-one time to have that conversation and that tutoring with them. You understand? Yeah. What you say? I would put up paragraphs of books everywhere in the house, even in their toys, so they can get the reading skills on.
Yes, I like that one, Catherine. Another thing that I highly recommend, I know, we always like to provide kids with toys.
Hi, Jay.
Get away from that sometimes, and even as a birthday gift, or sometimes along underneath the Christmas tree with your Christmas gifts or your Valentine, just give them a book. You find something that you think is interesting to your child and just give them a book. That also helps them as well, increasing their vocabulary and possibly picking up a book to read,
I know some adults who can't read, and it's very sad. It's very sad because you know what? The wise in control and they have no control. They don't even know how to really sign the name. And it's very disturbing, Reading is fundamental. And I think even reading the Bible. My brother couldn't read. And he started to read the Bible, and that's how he became a big reader. You understand? And he self-taught himself. So where there's a way, there's a will. But again, as you say, parents have to take,
the initiative.
Yeah.
And be involved.
Be involved.
The key is being involved and advocating for your child. I can't express that enough.
Yeah. Philia, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I want to say thank you so much, Lori. Everything that you said is so poignant and just really important. And again, thank you so much for what you're doing for the community. I mean, because it is true, it's about each one teach one, and what you're doing, will also spread or be able to carry itself into other generations who can do the same thing. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah. So we have a ditch it, keep it for Lori now. This is a little trivia we have on the show. Well, Philia is not here, so I'll do the honors. Normally we do 1-1-1. Alright? So Lori, this is about getting to know you a little better. Alright? So it's either you ditch it or you keep it. Alright, number 1, beer or rum? Beer or rum? What do you like drinking?
Beer.
Beer, okay. So we keep in beer. Alright, number 2, doubles or alu pie?
Doubles.
Number 3, Port of Spain or San Fernando?
Port of Spain.
Number 4, please share Tony's response. Okay, I will. Alright, hold on. I have to go back up one moment. I think it's done, right? I think it's broad. We gotta go up. Which one? Up? When Andy, so Tony wrote here, when Andy Asola, everybody know Andy, he was on last week, brought the 2 carnivals together, was that reason. So yes, Andy was the initiative of the both carnivals previously, and now it's the Miami Broward One Carnival. That's what it's called, Miami One.
That's the host, or that's the organizing.
That's the organizing part.
But the event is called Miami Carnival.
But the event is called Miami Carnival. Correct, John?
Correct.
All right. Okay, Andy, I corrected it. All right.
Broward One Carnival Host Committee produces Miami Carnival.
Okay. All right. Yes, I am still in Orlando, Andy. We're still in Orlando. I'll bring back on John in a little bit. All right. Okay. Where reach?
No, Port of Spain, San
Okay. All right. Port of Spain, right? Tobago, St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
Electric slide or the bop?
Electric slide.
Cheesecake or lemon pie?
Cheesecake.
Okay. Brooklyn or Queens?
Brooklyn in the house.
Soca or reggae?
Soca all the way.
All right. Navy or Marines?
Air Force.
Okay. Okay. White or green? Your colors?
White.
Okay. Gym or running?
Gym.
Long pants or short pants?
Short pants.
Saltfish and provision or stew curry chicken?
Stew curry chicken.
Mercedes Benz or BMW or Mercedes Benz?
Volvo.
Okay. Casual or dress up?
Dress up.
Okay. That wasn't too hard.
No, not at all.
So guys, Laurie, I just want to thank you so much for joining Motivational Monday and hanging with us.
You're funny. You always give it the alternative.
Yeah, right? You all have a blessed night. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for locking
You're a
in.
wonderful guest. Thank you.
Yes, Rum here, Katrina Rum. That's a parent. Needs to be active. Yes,
Yeah.
parents need to be active. Yes, parents need to be active. So, Laurie, thank you very, very much. Come, John. I think Andy wants to see you on. Well, Philia, this was John. I think he was listening to him earlier on here. And yes, Andy. Yes, you see John? John, say hi to Andy. He's locked on.
Big up Andy and Solo.
Yes.
One of the foundation members of the.
I would like to have a discussion with your guests. Okay, which one of my guests?
Of course, it's me.
Yes, go ahead. Have the discussion.
Let's see if we have drinks in the house. Boy. We're gonna need a drink. Fire away, Andy.
Andy, you want me to call you and you talk to him, or you want to type? Let me know at the bottom of the screen. Not John, the previous guest. All right.
Come, Laurie.
Come back. Yeah. All right. Okay, Andy, go ahead. Laurie's here. Education is like an ammunition. Education, oneself, and oneself. What you saying? Education is an ammunition to educate yourself. No, nothing for John. All right, John, nothing for you. Andy, stop.
I'm waiting for them. So
Yeah.
Andy to ask a question.
Yeah. So Laurie's here waiting for you to ask the question. I hope tonight you guys get a little insight about the tutoring and what Laurie has been experiencing. You know. Is there any more questions? Yeah, okay. I wanted to have a discussion offline. Just give her my address. Okay. I think we can work together. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'll do that. I'll give her the information. When we finish, I'll give her your number. All right?
Sure.
You have anything else to close?
Nothing in closing.
All right, just education and just be active.
You have to be active in your child's, life. You have to be active. Most important.
Yes. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you again for logging in to Motivational Monday, where each one teach one. Philia and I say good night. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for all the troops. Thank you for those who serve. Thank you for the fallen ones, guys. Memorial day is a very significant day, and you know, it's in remembrance. Just, you know, we have a lot of vets too, and we have to lift them up in prayers, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So have a blessed, wonderful, and safe week. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye,
Love in the
guys.
house. Remember, each one,
Safe
teach one.
travels.
Okay?
Okay.
See you.
All right, thank you.